So yesterday I got underway and I tested the autopilot and it didn't work. So we're going to replace the old plug, which I should have done in the very first episode. But you know, I had an old plug. It didn't work. I figured I'd use the new one as a spare. Well, guess what? I'm using the spare. We're going to run this wire, plug it in today, and then we'll have our autopilot back. It didn't work. My name is Rick. Join me as I refit sailing vessel Frog's Leap with an eye towards taking her to warmer places. I get to spend only a few days each month on the boat. That's why I call the channel Marina Queen. This is the plug for the autopilot. It just plugs right in here like that. What I'm going to have to do is cut this wire, tape it to the new wire, feed them down, and run it like that. As it turned out, the 3/8 inch hole that was cut in the pedestal for the wire to run through wasn't big enough to pass both cables. So I had to poke a hole in the electrical tape and sort of weave a piece of string. There it is. Here's our new connection. You gotta really push on it once you get it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if I try it with my other hand. Oh, you really have to use your strong hand. So now we just put this back in there like that. Well, so if I haven't mentioned it already, I got underway yesterday with a friend from back in my Puerto Rico days, and he knows a lot about sailing. It's super important to have a set of experienced eyes validate what I'm seeing. He mentioned this, take that inner forestay down so it makes tacking a lot easier. And then when you decide to go offshore, put the inner forestay up. It's not something you don't want to have. You want to have it. But really, if you're not going to be offshore, store it. It's not a load-bearing part of the rig, holding the rig upright. It was just good to be out on the water with another coastie because he would point out things that I'd be like, oh yeah, right. Like he would see there was a standing wave just north of Bluff Point, kind of by Paradise Cove. And he pointed it out. It's been well over a decade since I've been on the water. So it was really nice I could feel those seaman's eyes coming back into my head. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. What else? Well, the autopilot didn't work, which I've since fixed. So the next thing on the work list is ground tackle, and we haven't been out there yet. Going to try to take off the old bow roller that doesn't work with the kind of anchor that I have. Bow roller. I have a Rockna anchor, and it's kind of like a fish hook in that when you're bringing it up, the tip of the fish hook is going to hit your bowsprit, bow roller. There's actually impact marks under the bowsprit where it's hit it. I'm going to have to do some gel coat work under there eventually. And they've since moved it off to the side, and they've come up with this really jerry-rigged system involving tying off with lines to railings. It's not good. So the first step is taking out the old bow roller. And the second step, once that's done, is to put in a new bow roller, a more herky one that's designed for that fish hook type anchor like the Rockna is. Let's go outside and see if I can have any success with that.
So you want some more of me and Daisy? You gotta press that subscribe button right now. They will.
Well, I got the bow roller off. That's where she was. She sat like this. And I was able to unscrew these bolts, and then I just used a screwdriver, just tried to pry on the end of it, and a scraper to try to clean this up. Now I'm gonna hit it with some sandpaper, try to clean it up, get it ready for some varnish. So I sanded the teak and put the bolts back in because I don't have a 3/8 inch drill bit on me, and that's what I need to bore out those holes. So I'm gonna just put those bolts back in like that. So I got this stuff when I was at the yard. This traditional amber color, I've used it on my teak and the color comes out perfectly. So this is what we're going to use, and it'll look good when we're done. So I imagine that the new bow roller is going to go right about there where the can of varnish is sitting. And I've also got some 3/8 inch teak plugs that I'm going to use to fill the holes that those bolts are currently sitting in. So I also removed the inner forestay to make tacking easier as per my friend's recommendation. I did take some before and after video. Check this out. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Marina Queen. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. Well, my June trip to visit the boat is rapidly approaching, and I'm very eager to get out on the bay and sail Frog's Leap as a sloop. Really looking forward to that. So stay tuned. I'll see you next week on the boat. New episode every Sunday. I'm not as think as you confused I am.